Hello, everyone. Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 2. As always, here's our disclosures. This content is for educational purposes only. It's not tailored to one individual. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments and trades involve risk. As always, I will be covering the news, provide a market overview, and this week we have 51 companies reporting earnings. For our week 1 results, I provided 15 zones. Pretty slow week. Things should start picking up this week. We have all the banks reporting this week and Wall Street returning back. So expect some volatility and some action this week. Went 1-0. No entry was 12. In progress is 2. And those are the same 2 that closed in the zones on Friday. Here's what the earnings outlook looks like. And again, we're kicking off earnings season with all the banks pretty much reporting starting on Wednesday. So Wednesday and Thursday should be a lot of action when it comes to all the financial stocks. And here goes the one trade that worked this week, which was CMC. If you took long calls, pretty much in and out in the morning and hit profit without a problem. Moving into the news for the week, as you can see on Monday, there is no news to report for the U.S. markets. So Monday should be a fairly simple day with no news. Moving on to Tuesday, as you can see, 30 minutes after the open, we have our ISM report and our JOLTS report. So pay attention to that. 30 minutes after the open, we should have a little bit of volatility if those reports have any impact. After the market, you can see the Australian dollar has their CPI report. So for those of you trading futures and Forex, pay attention to that on Tuesday afternoon. Then moving on to Wednesday, we've got some more news, and this is going to be pre-market. We have non-farm employment change. We have unemployment claims pre-market, and then midday, we got FOMC meeting minutes. So that should cause some volatility pre-market and post-market. In midday. Moving on to Thursday, no news. That's going to be the bulk of all our banks reporting earnings. It's probably why there's not going to be any additional news. And then on Friday, you can see pre-market, we have the Canadian dollar being affected, and we have 3 reports for the US, and that's going to be our average hourly earnings, non-farm unemployment change, and the unemployment rate. So be mindful on Friday pre-market. That should cause some volatility into the open. All right, moving into the chart, starting with the SPX. As you can see, our supply level held, and the market had a rough last 3 days, and the market falling. As you can see, we still have this gap to fill, and the first demand level I have for you is at 57.42 to 56.92, and our supply level that has worked twice, that's still intact. That's going to be 633 to 692, and that's going to do it for the S&P. So we can continue to fall here this week, and then turn around to the inauguration, or we might remain sideways. So be mindful of that, but these are 2 levels that are intact. Moving on to the NASDAQ, as you can see, our level still intact. I had moved this level down last week to say you can get in. You can see that this still is holding. It's just starting to dwindle away and deplete. So what I'm gonna do this week is still intact for the week. Be mindful of where we open on Monday, but that's gonna be 2,800 to 2,610. There's a possibility we do recover halfway this week. And if we don't, I'm gonna give you this level right here, make it a little bit more conservative, and that's gonna put you at an entry at 2,680 instead of 2,800, with a stop at 2,383. That's going to be our demand level. On the supply side, hasn't changed, 21,913 to 22,076. Moving on to the Dow Jones, which has been showing most of the weakness. As you can see, we're coming back to this level that tested back in November. That level is going to be 417.45 to 414.21. I have not changed that level for quite some time. And on the supply side, it's going to be 446.77 to 450.94. Now, moving on the rut. Rut's getting back into the rut and showing weakness. Our level had held. We have another supply level now. Now, I don't have anything for you on the rut till we get to 2018 to 1956 on the demand side. And we have a new supply zone here at 2333 to 2370. Now, moving into earnings for the week. First company I'm going to have is KBH. I know I briefed this company last week, but they went ahead and changed their earnings to this week. So these levels are still intact. On the supply side, 82.64 to 84.38. And on the demand side, 51.66 to 49.77. Now, moving into all our banks, mainly starting on Wednesday. First one I have for you is JP Morgan. JP Morgan has no supply. All-time high was 254.31. On the demand side, I have 223.20 to 218.84. In the event of an overshoot, you got 211.50 to 204.28. Next is going to be Citi. City sitting in the supply zone. Be mindful of that. This is very aggressive if you decide to take this trade. However, it has another level here. So wait more till Wednesday, Thursday if you decide to take action on City. This level is going to be 78.48 to 80.41. And on the demand side, I have 52.19 to 50.14. Next is going to be BlackRock. BlackRock hit all-time highs. You can see since it's done at 1,000, it's had a nice 100 plus drop. It looks like we're still dropping. No supply. As a matter of fact, let's do this. On the supply side, I'm gonna give you 10.16.55 to 10.35.95, and on the demand side, 8.92.19 to 8.56.33. Actually, that's 8.53.30, 8.53.50, and it has an overlapping zone here at 8.56 to 8.34. So be mindful below 900. There's a lot of demand coming in for BlackRock. Next, Wells Fargo. So for Wells Fargo, another company that hit its all-time highs and it's retreating. The first demand level I have for you is 63.76 to 62.25 with no supply. And in the event of an overshoot, you have 58.34 to 56.83. Next, CNXC. All-time lows is 36.28, so I have no demand for you. This bank can just keep falling if it decides to, but if it decides to recover, first supply zone we have is 62.45 to 64.71, and another level right above it at 66.18 to 68.93. Next bank, Synovus. No supply in Synovus. First demand level I have for you is 44.02 to 42.70. Next company, HB Fuller. On the demand side, 53.25 to 49.64. And another level right underneath it at 48.15 to 43.79. On the supply side, 73.43 to 81.81. Next company, TSM, made all new time highs at 222.20. No supply for you. And demand level is really far away at 117.95 to 110.81. Next company is UNH. UNH has been struggling ever since their CEO was actually murdered in New York, which was unfortunate news. This is where this drop has come from. That supply level is going to be 616.62 to 630.49. Just be mindful that this already hit and worked pretty nicely. With that being said, the demand level I have for you is at 428.23 to 418.13. So pretty much UNH is sitting in the middle of nowhere. Good time for Iron Condor. Next, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is another bank reporting this week. As you can see, another bank that made all-time highs at 612.73. No supply for you in Goldman Sachs. First demand level I have for you is at 471.47 to 457.69. Next is Bank of America. No supply in Bank of America, right? Yeah, no supply in Bank of America. First demand level I have for you is at 40.39 to 37.99. Next, Morgan Stanley. As you can see, all these banks have made all-time highs and they're pretty much retreating now. First demand level I have for you is 105.05 to 102.99. Next is US Bank. And on the demand side, 37.77 to 36.48. And I'm pretty sure there is a supply level I have for you is at 61.83 to 63.67. Next is PNC. No supply for you on PNC. First demand level I have for you is at 159.18 to 155.15. Next is FHN. First Horizon. On the supply side, 24.07 to 24.95. And on the demand side, 17.55 to 16.90. Next is JB Hunt. As you can see, right in the middle of both of our levels on the demand side, 142.13 to 136.85, and on the supply side, 212.75 to 219.65. Next is SLB. As you can see, we had a near miss here to hit our level on Schlumberger. That demand level is still going to be 36.05 to 33.75, and on the supply side, 50.70 to 52 even. Next is Fastnell. All-time highs again, 84.88, pretty much coming back down from its all-time highs. First level I have for you is at 64.25 to 61.23. Be mindful that this level has already worked, and you have another level right underneath it at 60.75 to 59.04. And the last company I have for you is CFG. As you can see, this level is the level that's been holding it. That supply level is 48.17 to 50.89. And on the demand side, 29.78 to 28.04. And that's going to wrap it up for us with our charts. Now, for those of you who haven't done so already, feel free to follow me on social media. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Feel free to go to my website for upcoming classes. I will start teaching again in February. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. For those of you who haven't checked out my website, feel free to check out my blog. I'll be posting this week on earnings coming up on certain companies. And then for anybody who would like to meet up with me, feel free to go to the website and schedule a meeting with me. With that being said, till next time, happy trading.